Welcome back to AM 590, 99.7 on your FM dial and everywhere at newsradioklbj.com. Let's give them the business. It's brought to you by Pinballs. That's Pinballs with a Z. Pinballs.com. Let's talk about interest rate cuts. Here's reporter Jessica Ettinger.
The Fed cut interest rates by a 0.25 percentage point.
The economy is expanding at a solid pace. Same language as last time. Labor market conditions have generally eased. Before, in the prior statement, it said that labor market conditions have slowed. I think that's a little bit better characterization than it had been. Inflation, it says, has made progress towards the 2% target.
CNBC senior economics reporter Steve Leisman. And more cuts are ahead, according to experts.
I think inflation they're comfortable with. Inflation has been coming down. Their biggest concern is if there is a slowdown in the economy and if the unemployment rate starts to rise very, very quickly, then they will have wished that they've continued on with their pace to cut interest rates. 25 today, 25 in December, and I think they're on a mission to 4%, and then they're going to reevaluate.
Morgan Stanley's Jim Caron on CNBC. By now, a lot of would-be homebuyers have learned that Fed rate cuts really have nothing to do with lowering mortgage rates. Mortgage rates follow the yield on the 10-year Treasury. So the Fed cut interest rates yesterday by a 0.25 percentage point. Average Americans should feel it eventually down the road by paying less to borrow money to buy a car, and with their credit card interest rates if they're carrying a balance.
That's right, especially for things like credit cards where the average is still over 20%. I mean, really the advice there is get a 0% balance transfer card, work with a reputable nonprofit credit counselor, do what you can to pay it down. Credit card rates are high, they're going to stay high.
Bank rates Ted Rossman on CNBC.
That is reporter Jessica Ettinger at 5:50. There's a new warning out this week about housing affordability in Texas. State Controller Glenn Hagar, he says owning a home is out of reach for many Texas families, and it could remain that way for a while.
Affordable housing remains a significant challenge for many working Texans and looks to continue, unfortunately, for some time to come.
And it's not just here. He says housing affordability nationwide has hit the lowest level in 4 decades. The state legislature will try to tackle this issue in January. The governor has put a focus on property tax reform. The Texas energy industry is excited about what the Trump presidency would bring.
During the first Trump administration, what we saw was our federal government treating oil and gas as an asset, not like a liability.
That's Todd Staples with Texas Oil and Gas Association. Says the Biden administration slapped mandates on producers and says that's had a trickle-down effect on consumers. And on the campaign trail, Donald Trump vowed to boost domestic oil and gas production in Texas. That could include more offshore drilling, and Trump has also vowed to pull out of the Paris Climate Agreement. Voters in both Bastrop and Lockhart in the area have approved measures that will add to, decriminalization of small amounts of marijuana into city charters. It's something that Lockhart resident Stephen Pyatt tells KVUE is welcome news. He says he was arrested for minor possession 15 years ago, and it still haunts him today.
Even in schooling, there's colleges that won't take me over minor possession charges. Like, I want to get a normal career. I want to have the opportunity for government benefits and stuff like that.
Yeah, the changes will prevent police from using the smell of marijuana as probable cause, and police will no longer be able to issue citations for minor possessions of pot. Other cities, including Austin, Elgin, have approved similar measures. However, marijuana is still technically illegal in the state of Texas. It is 5:52. Artificial intelligence might prevent you from getting spam calls.
Fox on Tech.
What if AI kept away that pest of a phone caller? New code discovered by the experts at 9 to 5 Google shows the company is getting ready to inject artificial intelligence into Android's phone screening feature, the popular bit that answers your phone when strangers call and gives you a chance to see if you actually want to talk to this person. Sometimes it is a telemarketer, sometimes it is your doctor's office confirming an appointment. The feature is currently based on automation using scripted audio messages to make the caller divulge their intentions and their identity. And while Google has already upgraded the feature to be more contextual, the introduction of AI into the process would allow for the Google Assistant to interact with the caller with more nuance. It would also reply to the caller with more natural replies, more specific to the reason for calling. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
It is 5:53.
Fox in the Fast Lane.
We now know the two drivers who will join Joey Logano and Tyler Reddick in Phoenix to race for the NASCAR Cup Series championship this Sunday. One is defending champ Ryan Blaney. He won the Xfinity 500 at Martinsville to advance.
Ryan Blaney's not losing anything here in Martinsville. He wins and is going to Phoenix.
Courtesy NBC Sports, the last spot in the championship four came down to William Byron and Christopher Bell. Both drivers were tied at the end of the race. The tiebreaker went to Bell, but NASCAR ruled Byron would advance.
Christopher Bell will not be going to Phoenix. Safety violation, riding the wall. It's against the rules. William Byron has been confirmed as the fourth and final position.
Also courtesy NBC Sports. So Logano, Reddick, Blaney, and Byron will battle for the driving title Sunday in Phoenix. For Fox in the Fast Lane, I'm Bob Mortale, Fox News.
Stay close. Traffic, your forecast, and the Todd and Oz Show next.
The Todd and Oz Show.